Have you ever met people who are naturally calm in facing life? This is because they do not easily feel intense emotions and tend to remain calm in various situations. How can you stay calm, or even happy, in times of uncertainty when you're facing difficulties? How is it that some people can remain so calm even when they see several problems? Well, it's important to understand that these calm people have actually experienced a lot of problems themselves, from personal ones like issues with a partner, an ex, to not having a job. Being unemployed like I am now, two things experienced by everyone. Like during the COVID-19 pandemic. Situations like this often make us feel many negative emotions. Even people who are naturally calm can also feel sadness, anger, and helplessness that are sometimes difficult for us to control. For those of you who feel this way, maybe you find it hard to stay calm. You're always anxious, overthinking. Remember that you are not alone. You can listen to this bedtime video which will help you learn how we can stay calm or even happy in uncertain situations. First of all, I want to tell you that negative emotions, especially due to uncertain situations, are normal, and certain situations are indeed more prone to making us confused, sad, anxious, and feeling powerless. This is a natural human response when facing uncertain and threatening circumstances, but what can become a problem is when we feel sad, anxious, and helpless constantly. If these emotions are not managed and are left unchecked, over time they can develop into serious mental health issues, like chronic overthinking, acute stress, or other problems. So, even though negative emotions are normal for us to experience, we need to learn to manage them. That's why in this video, I want to share how to do it using Stoic philosophy, or Stoicism. In short, Stoicism is a school of philosophy that focuses on self-management and making you more understanding of what is happening around you. Perhaps some of you already know about Stoic philosophy, but for those who don't, I want to explain 3 teachings that I think you can really apply when you are facing an uncertain situation. Okay, for example, during the pandemic. First, Stoic philosophy understands that as long as we live in this world, bad things will keep happening forever. Yes, there will always be bad things, and they will definitely happen to us too. It might seem like a pessimistic view, right? Always sad. But this is the reality. This was actually one of the suggestions from Marcus Aurelius. He's one of my role models in living life. He was a Stoic philosopher. One of his biggest suggestions for us is that, if possible, we should always prepare ourselves for the bad things that could happen every day. Preparing yourself can be done in many ways. You could try to imagine. For instance, okay, it seems like I might experience something bad today. And even Emperor Marcus Aurelius made it a habit to tell himself every morning. I mentioned he was an emperor, right? Yes, he was the emperor of Rome, one of the largest empires in the world at its time. So, he would tell himself every morning that today he would meet people who would annoy him, who would be irritating, who would mess up his day. He always said that to himself every morning. Well, because he had prepared himself. When it actually happened, Emperor Marcus Aurelius didn't get too carried away by his emotions. And he finally knew what needed to be done. So, when you have a negative day, the interesting thing is, a little positivity will make you happy. And even if the day is negative, you won't feel much because it's like, oh well, I already expected this. So, the next question is, how can I prepare myself without getting caught up in overthinking? Let's move on to the second point. Always remember the difference between things that are under your control and those that are not. The things that make our situation uncertain are usually things we can't control. From small things like other people's opinions, whether our crush likes us back, the weather, to maybe natural disasters. We simply cannot control them. If we could control them, fine. But we really can't. Now, this point is actually clarified by Epictetus. If we talked about Marcus Aurelius earlier, Epictetus is another famous Stoic philosopher. He said something like this: the main task in life is to know and separate external matters, so you can truly understand what things cannot be controlled and which ones can. According to Stoic philosophy, one of the reasons we often feel uneasy or unhappy is because we are always trying to control things that we cannot control. Whereas, what we can control is only ourselves, our perceptions, our responses, our thought patterns. We can't control what other people do. Whether they are mean or kind to us, we can't control that. Maybe we can't control whether our crush falls in love with us or not, but we can try to make ourselves more attractive. We can keep learning. We can talk to them to make them comfortable, and so on. That is within our control. But if, for example, our crush or our partner suddenly cheats, well, that's not something within our control, right? The important thing is that we focus only on what we can control. If something happens that is outside our control and it's negative, then so be it. By knowing what you can and cannot control, you will find it easier to live more peacefully and focus on the things that you actually can control. Now, lastly, you can learn to accept everything that happens, including accepting that bad things will indeed happen, they will occur, and accepting that so many things in this world are beyond our control. There's an interesting quote from the philosopher Epictetus. He said that if you expect the world to give you whatever you want, you will feel disappointed. But if you accept whatever the world gives you, you will be at peace. In other words, your life will be calmer. But admittedly, acceptance isn't easy. That's why we must understand that acceptance is a process and requires practice. Maybe you can't be calm right away. Maybe you can't accept the situation. Maybe you often get angry. Maybe you think, well, it's hard to be calm. That's okay. But the important thing is that you know and understand that you are currently learning. Those 3 teachings are really just the basics. You can absolutely learn and gradually develop through this entire process. So, happy learning!